This is the week's harvest coming to you from Al Jazeera One. Welcome. And we start this edition with a defeat where the Algerian football team lost to Equatorial Guinea on the score of 1-0 in a match played Sunday evening in Douala as part of the Africa Cup of Nations currently taking place in Cameroon. Abdelmajid Tebboune, President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and Minister of National Defense, chaired a cabinet meeting, and during the meeting a draft law was studied that includes judicial division and offers related to the sectors of the interior, agriculture, public works, work, employment, social security and housing, in addition to a special presentation presented by the mediator of the Republic before the Council related to the follow-up of pending investment projects. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad, Ramadan Al-Mamra, was received Sunday by the Egyptian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sameh Shoukry. This meeting came to discuss ways to enhance the various frameworks of bilateral cooperation within the framework of the well-established relations between the two brotherly countries. And on Monday, the General Directorate of Customs announced in a statement a partial movement that affected the central high officials in the Directorate, where 8 high officials were appointed. The Director General of Customs, Noordin Khalidi, supervised the official inauguration ceremony of the tiers appointed in the positions Inspector General of Customs Department, Director of Studies, Director of Legislation, Regulation and Customs Regulations, Director of Information and Risk Management, Director of Security and Operational Activity of Teams, Director of Information and Communication, Director of Means Department, Director of Studies and Foresight. The partial movement was also strengthened at the level of the Regional Customs Directorate, as 2 regional directors were appointed in each of Algeria Abroad and Oran, according to the same statement. And on Tuesday, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, delivered a speech at the headquarters of the Ministry of the National Defense, which was broadcast to all commanders of the forces, military district, major units and high schools across the entire national territory via teleconference technology. The President saluted Lieutenant General Saïd Chengueriha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, for what he accomplished at the head of the army. He praised his efforts to maintain the readiness of the People's National Army in all circumstances. He also saluted all the efforts of the officers, non-commissioned officers, soldiers and all associates who deserve to belong to our valiant army. The President decided that August 4th will be a national day for the National People's Army. And on Wednesday, the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, Ayman bin Abdelrahman, chaired the meeting of the government using video conferencing technology. The government also studied during its meeting several points in various files such as culture, health and fishing. As for the cultural file, the draft executive decree was presented that defines the conditions and modalities for practicing the activity of the leader in cultural and artistic performances. While presiding over an extraordinary meeting devoted to assessing the epidemiological situation in the country, the President Abdelmajid Tebboune made important decisions and instructions. During the meeting, he ordered the suspension of studies for a period of 10 days in the 3 educational levels, primary, intermediate and secondary. This is starting from Thursday, January 20. This decision came after the rapid spread of the mutated Omicron of the coronavirus in the school community. With regard to universities, the President of the Republic left the decision to close universities, so it is returned to the officials of university institutions, which happened, taking into account the examination calendar and the possibility of reprogramming it for students. He also ordered the need to tighten control over arrivals on flights from abroad, and this is after a large number of cases of corona infection were recorded on some flights, with resorting to reducing the number of flights from abroad if necessary. The national team left the African Nation Championship from the first round after a 3-1 defeat against Côte d'Ivoire on Thursday evening at Jabouma Stadium in Douala, Cameroon. Algeria ranked 4th and last in Group E with only 1 point after recording 2 defeats against Equatorial Guinea 1-0, Cote d'Ivoire 3-1 and 1 draw against Sierra Leone 0-0. The Global Power Fire website, which specializes in military affairs, ranked the Algerian army the first in the Maghreb and the third in the Arab world and Africa, which included the world's strongest armies for the 2022. The same site added that the United States of America topped the global ranking of the world's most powerful armies for 2022, and the Algerian army came in the 31st globally. The Egyptian Minister of International Cooperation, Rania Al-Mashat, met the Algerian ambassador in Cairo, Hamid Shbira, before the meeting of the Joint Higher Committee between the two countries. The discussions dealt with developments of cooperation in various files, preparations for the Joint Higher Committee, and the results of previous sessions at the level of joint committees. Mashat expressed Egypt's aspiration to push forward bilateral relations in various files, benefiting from the great economic potential of the two countries. The statement said that the Algerian ambassador reflected the country's desire to advance relations with Egypt in various files. Shbira confirmed that Algeria also wants to resume the meeting of the Joint Higher Committee. The Minister of Trade and Export Promotion, Kamel Razig, revealed that in the context of combating corruption in the Algerian market and combating price hikes, more than 145,000 cases were registered that were brought to justice in 2021. The Minister of Trade indicated that the issuance of the law against illegal speculation was the result of the behavior of some traders, especially after the illegal storage of potato and oil. He stressed that since the issuance of this law, more than 100 lawsuits have been registered, with 15 days against merchants who practice speculation, especially in the matters of potatoes and oil. In the same context, the Minister of Trade revealed that the efforts of the supervisory services of the commercial sector are still continuing to combat the phenomenon of speculation. He also added that this process will allow the interests of the Ministry of Commerce or Trade, in accordance with the powers entrusted to it, to fight any unjustified rise in prices, to combat all forms of illegal and unauthorized storage directed at speculation and monopoly, in coordination with the security services. The General Directorate of Taxes revealed the tax duties applicable to non-commercial professionals within the framework of the new system to which they will be subject as of the 1st of the current January, within the framework of the provisions of the Finance Law for the year 2022. According to the statement of the General Directorate of Taxes, the tax duties of owners of profits resulting from practicing a non-commercial professional will be subject from now on to the simplified system for non-commercial professionals. This is regardless of the amount of their professional income, with the exception of this category of the single level or levy tax system. Belair Tariq for more details.
بمناسبة هذا اليوم أن القانون 21/15 جاءت به المشرع في ظرف استثنائي بعد أن عجزت أحكام المواد 172 إلى 175 مكرر من قانون العقوبات على الحد من ظاهرة المضاربة غير المشروعة، خصوصا بعد أزمة الصحية التي مرت بها البلاد متمثلة في أزمة الكوفيد. وعليه وبعد أن قام المشرع بإصدار هذا القانون أصبح لزاما على نيابات الجمهورية مباشرة واتباع إجراءات تحريك الدعوة العمومية ضد.
This was the most important harvest of the week, and by this we close this number. I look forward to see you next week.